Buenos días. Transmitido en español.
Ciao. Ciao, Bella. Ciao, Bello.
So, what have you seen out there? What's going on in your neighborhood, the places that you're seeing? How are they doing their social distancing? Because I think how each company does it is fascinating.
Currently in my neighborhood, there are houses being built down the street, and they don't seem like they're doing any sort of social distancing.
No.
They wouldn't get away with that in Washington. In Washington, they're not allowing any construction. It's not like government sponsored.
Right here across the bridge in Camas, now that you say that, Jake, I don't see any construction going on. I don't think.
They're letting like road crews do it, and if they're doing like low income housing as like government sponsored Section 8 housing, then that's allowed. But no go.
Yeah, we have some road people over here, and even they're wearing masks as if you're going to roll down your window and.
How's it been with masks too? Because I noticed, like, I'm pretty proud of what I've seen. I think more than half of people I see are out there wearing them.
A lot of them. I was really impressed with Safeway yesterday because when I walked in, they had one of their workers cleaning off the handles of the shopping carts for you, handing you wipes for your hands if you needed them. That made me feel good.
Yeah,
like that hasn't always been that way for the last. I was in a Walmart the other day and I realized they're so busy, but it wasn't quite that way. And so I was like, I don't really want to get a cart because I didn't see any wipes anywhere. Maybe I missed them, and the other thing I haven't seen, I think they need, but again, it's hard to find, is hand sanitizer next to the keypads, because that's what really grosses me out when I'm using the debit card thing. And some of my friends that work in the business in this area have said that they've got a lot of people using cash because they don't want to touch the keypad. So it's kind of like, here's the cash, keep the change.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that doesn't help the worker at all, but it helps you, I suppose. The most extreme one I've seen is at the Thai noodle place in Cedar Hills Mall. It's on the backside of the mall. And they have, first off, they have the 2 jars of pins. Have you seen that yet? For like when you sign the receipt? Clean pins, clean dirty pins. Like, you got to make sure you put it back in the other one. Yes. And then they take those out and sanitize them and put it back. But they were also doing, they put a piece of plastic over the top of the pin pad. So you would punch it in on the plastic, and then they would take that plastic, toss it, put a new piece of plastic on.
Wow.
And this was way early on. This was weeks ago that I went to them. They were right on it.
Smart.
And they were all wearing masks and stuff. I get the sense that, and I hate that this has to be the case, but I get the sense that the Asian people are being extra sensitive. And I don't think they're any more like worried about it than we are, but they're just like being extra polite about it. Like, we recognize that we're Asian and this came from Asia.
Yeah. It's really a shame. We have a place downstairs called the Sushi Joint, and guess what they sell?
Joints?
Yeah, joints and sushi. No, I don't know why he's so busy.
That would be a genius business plan.
That would be. So Pete, he's of course he's Asian, and he has it set up so literally you can't come to the door. You're about 6 feet away. He walks out, gloves, mask, and your sushi in a styrofoam thing, and it's like this, or he sets it on the table, and as you pull up, because you paid online, if you can do that, then you pick it up. And I wonder if that is it.
Yeah.
That he just thinks, well, I want to be extra cautious. It doesn't even cross my mind when I see an Asian person that they might be more contagious than anyone.
No, definitely not. But that they know that there are ignorant people who think that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I had wine delivered because we're part of a wine club at Willamette Valley Vineyard. And we were in Hawaii when the pickup weekend was. And we kind of just completely forgot about it. And we got an email that was like, hey, your wine's been here for like a month. You guys you can come get it, or you can do curbside. Or if you spend $100 or more, we're doing complimentary deliveries. They said, oh, okay, well, we'll just add a bottle then to our membership order, and then you can come drop it off. And she said, we'll just have to see you, so we know there's actually a person here over 21 that is in the wine. And so the doorbell rang and I opened it, and I have like a long walkway to the doorway, and the wine was sitting like in its case, and she was standing all the way back, which is like probably 10 or more feet, gloves on, mask on. And I opened it, she's like, "Hi, bye." And she just walked away. It was just so funny because I expected I expected her to not be close to my door, but it was just funny that she was at the very end of like the walkway.
Behind some shrubs.
Yeah. And have you guys noticed how different it is now versus even a week ago?
Yeah.
Like how more cautious. Like
there's masks and it's
I'm obviously on the dating apps, and over the last 3 weeks, with each week, it was kind of like, hey, yeah, if you still want to meet, you don't have any symptoms, you want to meet for a walk or whatever, that's fine. And then the next week it was like, I don't, and now it's like, see you when it's over. See you in December. Keep me on your list. It's like, oh yeah, people are to the point now, like they're not risking anything, which is good, right? And they say it's helping.
The online, have you done online, any online curbside? I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I wanted to get some exercise equipment. And so I went online and ordered it online and clicked curbside, contactless. And they're like, the moment I clicked, order, they sent me an email that said, we'll let you know when it's ready. And then 3 minutes later, I got the email saying, it's ready, come on down. I drove over, and in the email was a link. You click the link. You tell them your license plate number, and I clicked the link. In less than a minute, the guy came out with my stuff. He leaned in, through my passenger side window and said, ID. And I held out my ID, and he's like, back seat. I rolled down the back window, shoved it in there.
Using complete sentences.
I was like, that's actually awesome. I mean,
I know.
I was really impressed.
How much of this will continue after it's over?
Oh, probably. I would think, like they're going to go like, this curbside thing is not so bad.
And Target has already been doing it for a while now. And I just used it yesterday, and the gal came out, like you do there's parking spots specifically for drive up. And so they let you know when your order's fulfilled on the app. And then you get on the app and let them know you're on the way. And then, no joke, the second you turn into the parking lot, the app interface changes and says, we'll be out in a minute. And so like they already know your car is in the parking lot. Cool. You put what your car color is and your type, and then you park in a spot. And she came up, she had her mask on and gloves, and she just had a scanner. And so I just had to hold my phone out the window, and she scanned the receipt, and I opened up the trunk of the car, and she put it in the back and yelled from the back, thanks. But I mean, that's something that Target already does, which has been great, because sometimes in the afternoon, if I have to run an errand like pre-corona and Bridger falls asleep, like I'm stuck in the car, I can't get out. And so the things I was going to go in and get, I can just do it really quick and they'll bring it out to the car, it's so awesome, especially for moms.
I had never got into any of the Instacart, like have people do my shopping for me, or any of the curbside.
Oh, Instacart.
Park. Fred Meyer does
awesome.
that too, the park, and they'll bring it out to you. So I had never gotten into that. Maybe I will now, but I always felt like, I want to stick to the classics. I wanted to go in and pay for my stuff.
Yeah. But it's convenient if you have to use it.
I think we'll see a lot more of that even after this is done. And I wonder how many companies also are going to go, maybe we are renting these really big buildings and wasting a lot of money, because, these certain groups of employees may do even better working from home.
Yeah.
We're not one of them. But there will be some positive things come out of this for businesses, we hope.
I got the sense, we got an email from our engineering staff with our new microphones, and they're like, we are so we had a boss a while back who was very particular about the kind of microphones we had. So they had these microphones that we had to hunt down on eBay and install, but they are one of a kind, and they're not in production anymore. So they can't be cleaned. They can't take off and refurbish and put the pad back on. They just can't be clean. So they're like, we switched out the really rare mics and we could put you on more standard mics. We took off the mic covers. We issued you each your own mic cover, and under no circumstances, this was in bold italics, under no circumstances can you use anybody else's ever again. And so I don't think this was just a
no. You guys have
rule. This is a new rule.
You guys haven't been to the radio station, have you? I had to go. I had to go and sneak in and do some things. There's almost no one there for the news station. It's live. But we, on our desk in front of all of our computers, were these little boxes with names on it. I'm like, I forgot. I'm like, what is this? And I opened mine up, and it was my own microphone cover. And it was like, oh my gosh, have we really gotten to that point where? And so, are they going to make us do that even after this thing?
I think so. In the email, like it was like, this is from now on.
Which I think is smart anyway, because all of our stations share studios, like the staff. So like Danny comes in right after, Tony's on main mic, and Danny comes in right after and puts his mouth up to the exact same mic. And then Mojo comes in after Danny and does the same thing. Like, I think this is probably a much better, more hygienic.
Well, yeah, but Danny sprays mine down with Clorox after I leave. So
Danny's a different story.
Danny's been quarantining, social distancing since before it was cool.
Yes, 1982.
Yeah, he's good at it. Our question to you is like, what?
Do we have a banner, Jan? A crawl?
Oh, I didn't do a crawl, but watch me bust one out real quick.
I noticed the comments are down, and I assume that's because we're not asking him a question in the crawl below.
Just jump right in with any of your comments.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you say or what you ask.
Oh, I want to bring this one up too. I had to go to Home Depot, and so they're doing quite a bit of policies. They line you up out the door stand on the X, move to the next X, like stay apart from each other. But also, I thought this was funny on their aprons. There's a sign right here that says, "I am helping you by not coming anywhere near you. You can talk to me from over there." Like, it was essentially what the message is like. I'm here to help, but I'm going to do it from over here.
I literally, this is how bored I am. This is what happens when you don't have kids living with you. I literally was driving through these parking lots just to see what their businesses are like, and because I hear all these rumors about Home Depot being so busy, so I drove through. And I saw that, and I was like, why is that guy standing? So it didn't even hit. It's like he was standing with his little meter or whatever from like 10 feet away, waving at this guy and pointing for him where to go. And I'm like, all right, I guess, why go 6 feet when you can go 10 or 20? But yeah, they're taking it serious, at least because they're so busy. I worry about that more than anyone else.
I stood in line for a little bit. I mean, it wasn't crazy busy. There was people inside. The point of doing the metering outside is so there's not as many people inside. It's not crowded inside.
Oh, okay.
But there was a steady stream. So like inside, you had plenty of room to maneuver around, and people were being very gracious about it. That's the thing I'm surprised about. I expected to see more grumpy people about all the changes. I expected to run into more a-holes out there, and I just haven't seen any. Like, people are like, excuse me, my carts, I need to get my cart through, and they could have fit. They were just trying to not go through my bubble.
Be near you.
Yeah.
I hate to say this out loud because I know someone's going to go, whoa, man, what about the people that are dying and stuff? But yeah, there's a lot of good things that are happening in America because of this. To the way people are interacting with each other, the way people are treating, the way people aren't taking things for granted. Some people that really, truly needed to slow down in life are having to slow down. It's not worth anyone losing a grandparent over, of course, or anything, but there is a lot of good stuff, I think, that's coming out of this. People are really, like you said, Jake, they've really impressed me, the way they're handling it and the kindness that I'm seeing too.
Yeah, and it's not just, and there's obviously the extreme cases of kindness. What we're hearing stories like during our Silver Lining news and stuff, where people are going above and beyond and really doing newsworthy stuff. But just in general, there's a general politeness out there of like, no matter what you actually think needs to happen, everybody's kind of following the minimum guidelines at least and doing it jokingly.
Jolynn thinks differently. She said her husband went to grocery outlet wearing a mask and people didn't think they needed to social distance near someone wearing a mask.
Yeah, you can go up and lick the mask. It's fine.
Yeah.
No,
it might have been one of them. I think Jolynn, if that's the one, it might be the man I kissed in Safeway yesterday. Just walked up and kissed him right on the mask.
He looked like he needed one, right? I mean,
yeah, he looked sad.
Yeah.
Sad eyes. Sad eyes.
Oh man. Danielle agrees with you guys that the whole thing is just bringing a lot of awareness.
All I hope is they don't shutter our office and make us do this full time, because I don't dig this remote broadcasting thing. It's not for us.
This setup is there's something very interesting, and like this is very like radio speak, I guess, but morning shows or like team shows particularly are formed based on like a chemistry, and a lot of our chemistry comes from being in the same room and like body language, and it's a very interesting, it's a different sort of workspace. So when we're like this, we can see each other right now, but when we are actually doing our actual recording of the show, we use a system where we can't see each other. Mm-hmm. So we're just kind of going off of the air and like the cadence and voice and trying to use other parts of our senses besides our sight to figure out the bits that we're doing. It's not as fun or well done as when we're together.
And like you see a lot of hiring managers, like for regular jobs, they'll put down team chemistry as an important thing, like it's important to them, but it's not like it is for us where it's essential. I mean, It's high on the list. If we didn't have chemistry, we wouldn't have been hired. It's not a make or break asset for other jobs.
No.
For ours, it's particularly important.
Mm-hmm. Like the questions I got asked, like when I first was put in the pile of people you guys were interviewing to find your new host, you two were in the room with Mojo, and some of the questions you asked, like I knew when you asked them, I was like, these are make or break questions. Like if I answer these and they don't work for them, like I'm not the host they're looking for. Like that's...
And so she lied her ass off for 30 minutes.
How are you at spelling?
Great.
Great.
Oh, I'm the greatest.
Yeah. I'm the best.
How are your organizational skills? Perfect. I did the same thing.
Do you come camera ready every day to work? And she's like,
yeah. Do you wake up every day, put on your makeup, and do your hair? Of course.
In my defense, I did pre-baby. I was looking at a bunch of videos and pictures a couple days ago from like when I was pregnant up until Bridger was born, and I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "I did my makeup every morning."
I've given up. I mean, this is just like, I think I'm just going straight up hat until we can get a haircut again, I guess.
Christina says, "Didn't you bang your head on the window in your interview?" Yes, I did. That was the in person.
Yeah, it was phase 2. That
wasn't part of the interview process. That was her. She was standing on the other side of this thing in the studio. I'm on one side, and Jake and Jen are on the other. And Jen, for some reason, got so excited to look out the window on my side. She comes running around and goes,
"It's a great view! It's a great view.
You can see Portlandia." And literally I saw her eyes kind of roll back in her head.
We have double windows in our studio because they're soundproof.
Oh, yeah.
And the outer ones are dirty because they're the outer ones. The inner ones are pretty clean, and Jen didn't recognize there were 2 sets.
Oh,
and they're like 2 feet apart. Like
you know how some people say you have that moment where you know when you fell in love with someone? That was the moment I knew we had to hire Jen Hayes. Like, she's for us. Thank you, God. Somebody that's a bigger shit show than me, maybe. Not quite, but I thought.
At least playing the same sport.
Yeah, we are.
Let's see. Christine agrees that some good changes could come out of this. A slower pace. Yes, better money habits.
Ooh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are going, whoa, I'm not prepared if something like this happens.
Mhm.
I mean, something like this, if you're not prepared, will change how you do money forever. Like it will hurt you and then it'll be changed.
Even for those of us who are not really like taking a big hit, who are still able to keep operating, you think you're like, God, I don't know, maybe I spend too much.
It could go away, and it can go away that fast, right?
Yeah, right.
My dad always said growing up, and I say this all the time: 6 months savings. You should have 6 months of salary saved up in the bank. I think Dave Ramsey says at least 3, doesn't he, Jen? And then you work toward a year.
It's 3 to 6. It's 3 to 6, depending. It just kind of depends what your household income is and stuff like that.
And think about that, like how much stress that would take. I mean, it's kind of stressful to save money, but not nearly as stressful when you're broke. There's nothing more stressful than being broke and the bills are due.
No, that's
or you need groceries. I've been there. Yeah.
The Dave Ramsey philosophy also, like, yes, that's true. You have that saved up. So then if something bad happens, then you don't have to stress about it. But he preaches not being in debt. And a lot of times people go into debt when they go into crisis. And he said the last thing you want to do is be stressed out in debt while you're also in a crisis. So
you use credit cards, right, to live. And then eventually that's at 25% interest. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So I think that's very true, what she said, that's changing a lot of people's habits. Stephanie said, this is a good one. Drive-through doctor. That is a super extreme. I've had 3 doctor's appointments in the last 3 weeks, either via Skype or on a phone call. Like, it's very weird to have a prenatal appointment over the phone.
Okay, now down a little bit, a little bit more.
I had a prostate exam over the internet the other day. It was crazy.
I bet that was weird. Did you have to buy like a USB dongle?
You wouldn't believe what you. Thank God I had that new detachable video camera.
Yeah.
One of those scopes.
All right, to the left. A little bit more. Stop clenching.
No, relax. It'll only hurt for a minute. My doctor visit this week is on a Friday, and it's kind of funny because, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but too late, rolling with it now. It was like a medicine I've been on, and I'm doing great. I'm like, and I've been on it for a couple of months. I'm like, I'm doing great. Well, maybe you should talk to the doctor on Friday we'll just do a quick little teleconference, and we'll get that copay from you before we start. And I'm like, business is slow at the doc's office. Yeah. Let's talk to Tony. And so they're like, Tony has good insurance. Let's check those meds. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. There you go. And you know what? I'm glad to help. I love them. So it's all good.
Yeah. We got to spread it around a little bit.
That's right.
Someone said they're spending their entire check on Uber Eats. That's easy to do.
That's great, though. I was doing it before. We did start scorekeeping, but like somebody bringing your fast food to you is stupid great.
It is. We've tried to minimize a little bit how much we've been eating out, not because of like the fear of the virus or anything. Like, we want to help our small businesses, but just because our grocery bills have been massive. Like, we spent $400 last week. I mean, that's good. That's going to last a couple weeks, obviously, because we're trying to minimize how much we go to the store. But after you go to your weekly, the joke of you go stock up for like a week and then you come home and you want to order a pizza, that's not as funny after you spent $400. Like, you don't feel as good ordering a pizza after that. You just go, no, I better eat the food I just bought.
Let me show you what I've been doing. This is amazing. You guys go ahead and talk. I'll be right back. I have my pants on.
Pants check.
So at any rate, we're going to have to sign off after Tony does this thing, but please continue the conversation in our Facebook comments below. What extremes are you seeing? What companies are taking it really, really serious? And whatever, nobody's, no shame. I'm happy they're all doing it.
No shame. Is your lady still cooking for you?
She's out of work because she's a chef in her restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
So every week, and look at this. This is crazy. That's steak and noodles and whatever.
Edamame?
Yeah.
Looks
Is
good.
that peanut dish she makes?
Yeah, Jess Cantrell did this for me, and 8 of them, and these are big, right? 8 for $100. So I spend about $400 a month for lunch and dinner.
Seems
That's
reasonable.
pretty good. I mean, and I give her a list of the foods that I'm allowed to eat and not allowed to eat because of my weird stuff I've got going on. And I mean, that's a deal, right, for a single guy. So
It's cool, man.
hey, because I go to the grocery store and I always spend too much because I just don't have a concept of it. Because my ex-wife, when we were married for 18 years, she did everything. So I go to the store and I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm throwing stuff away every week or so that's gone bad. So it's just easy for me to have them put it in the container. So the other night, though, I found myself eating 2 of them at one sitting. So that's probably not good.
Well, you're hungry.
Hungry from all the stuff you've been doing.
Along with that 12-pack of Coors Light that I got in there in the fridge.
I'm numb.
Really
of a healthy breakfast.
Really quick comment before we sign off. Are you guys doing this every morning at 7:45? Yeah, ish.
We're doing it every morning when I finally get done with my part of the show. Which could be any time.
Which is so Jen has a part of the show because there we go. Okay, so Jen does a lot of the social media stuff. Jake edits, and then I sit here and watch them. It's a great deal for me. And then so to the point that I've even started blogging. I'm having to figure out
boredom.
I do have to put the podcast up after the show, but
thank you.
very easy. But they don't trust
me. But that's all edited.
Guess who edits that? Jake literally puts it in a file, and I pull it and put it over in another one. And I don't know if it's because I'm incompetent or because I'm 53, and they all just go, "Well, he's gold." It's probably all I can handle of the technology. So,
hey, should we have Bridger come make a guest appearance really quick?
No, we got to go to work.
Oh, okay, well, he's at the door.
Do it tomorrow.
We'll bring him in tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Can I show something real quick of my grandchild?
No.
It'll take 2 seconds. It's really, really cute. Hold on.
We got an entire show to record in 14 minutes.
Hold on.
I was being serious. No.
Okay, that's adorable. Thanks, Tony. Okay, see y'all tomorrow morning.
Bye-bye.